What if I told you Mario's jump is based on a real Japanese instrument? That Grand Theft Auto was born from a glitch? Or that someone once played Call of Duty for nearly 6 days straight just to break a record? This isn't your average list of fun gaming trivia. We're diving into the hidden history, the crazy coincidences, and the behind-the-scenes secrets that made gaming what it is today. From Soviet scientists coding block puzzles, to voice actors creating entire galaxies with their words, these are the facts that'll make even the most hardcore gamers say, wait, seriously? So grab your controller, power up your brain, and get ready to unlock 30 mind-blowing gaming facts to elevate your knowledge. Only here on the Mind Metrics. Let's press start. Fact 1. Mario's iconic jump sound was created using a real Japanese instrument. The classic bowing when Mario jumps isn't some random beat. It's the digitized pluck of a real Japanese koto, a traditional 13-string instrument. Koji Kondo, Nintendo's legendary sound designer, sampled the sound, then ran it through an early Famicom sound processor to mimic that elastic bounce. It's so embedded in pop culture that just 2 notes can instantly trigger recognition, even among people who've never played a Mario game. Fact 2. The PlayStation only exists because Nintendo betrayed Sony. In the early 90s, Nintendo was secretly working with Sony to create a CD-ROM attachment for the Super Nintendo, called the Nintendo PlayStation. But at the Consumer Electronics Show in 1991, Nintendo stunned everyone, including Sony, by announcing a surprise partnership with Philips instead. Sony, furious but determined, decided to launch its own console. And the result was the PlayStation, which went on to sell over 100 million units and dethroned Nintendo in the 5th-generation console war. Fact 3. The first video game Easter egg was a secret act of rebellion against corporate policy. In 1980, Atari refused to credit its developers, fearing they'd become celebrities and demand higher pay. So, adventure programmer Warren Robinett secretly added a hidden room with the message, "Created by Warren Robinett." Players had to perform a very specific sequence to reach it. Atari only discovered it after release, but fans loved it so much that the company kept it, making it the first ever known video game Easter egg and launching a tradition still alive today. Fact 4. Tetris was invented by a Soviet scientist who wasn't even allowed to profit from it. Alexei Pajitnov, a computer engineer at the Soviet Academy of Sciences, created Tetris in 1984 as a side project using an Elektronika 60 computer. Because he worked for the USSR, the government legally owned the game. While it spread like wildfire to the West, eventually bundled with the Game Boy in 1989, Pajitnov made no money for almost a decade. Only after the fall of the Soviet Union did he finally reclaim the rights and earn royalties from the game he created. Fact 5. Playing video games literally rewires your brain. Neuroscientists have found that regular gaming boosts gray matter density in the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and cerebellum, areas responsible for memory, spatial reasoning, attention, and coordination. In fact, gamers often outperform non-gamers in multitasking and decision-making speed. One study even found that surgeons who play games regularly make fewer mistakes during complex procedures. Your parents were wrong. Video games might be good for you after all. Fact 6. Lara Croft was created after developers accidentally exaggerated her features. When designing Tomb Raider in the mid-90s, developers initially planned a male lead. But when they decided to go with a female protagonist to stand out in the market, they created Lara Croft. According to the developers, her iconic proportions were originally a glitch. A programmer mistakenly increased her chest size by 150%, and the team decided to keep it. Despite the controversy, Lara became a trailblazing female character and one of the most recognizable faces in gaming history. Fact 7. Metal Gear. Solid 4 has more cutscene time than actual gameplay. Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots holds the record for the longest total cutscene time in any video game, over 8 hours. One scene alone runs nearly 71 minutes. Creator Hideo Kojima blurred the line between gaming and cinema, insisting that players were watching a war unfold, not just playing it. Critics were divided, but the game's narrative ambition set a precedent for cinematic storytelling in modern games. Fact 8. Minecraft was originally created in just 6 days. Marcus Notch Persson started working on Minecraft in May 2009. By May 17th, he had a playable alpha version ready. It was blocky, buggy, and had no real objective. But players loved the freedom it offered. Notch quit his job shortly after to work on the game full-time. And within 3 years, Minecraft had sold millions of copies and become a cultural phenomenon. In 2014, Microsoft bought it for $2.5 billion, making it one of the most successful indie-to-mainstream stories ever. Fact 9. Pokémon names are carefully adapted to suit cultural and linguistic differences. While Pikachu remains the same almost everywhere, other Pokémon go through complete rebranding depending on the region. For example, Squirtle is known as Zenigame in Japan, which combines the words for money, zini, and turtle, kame, referencing his shell. Western translators choose names that emphasize personality or powers, like Squirt and Turtle. This complex localization process makes sure Pokémon names are memorable, relevant, and marketable around the world. Fact 10. Skyrim contains over 1,000 unique voice-acted characters, even though most were voiced by just 70 actors. When Bethesda developed The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, they recorded a staggering 47,000 plus lines of dialogue. Each of the game's many factions, towns, and side quests needed unique character voices. But to keep things efficient, they hired just around 70 actors, many of whom voiced dozens of characters each, often with wildly different accents. This leads to the legendary phenomenon of hearing the same actor tell you they used to be an adventurer, until I took an arrow to the knee. Fact 11. The world record for longest gaming session is 138 hours. Okan Kaya, an Australian gamer, set the Guinness World Record in 2012 by playing Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, for a jaw-dropping 138 hours straight. That's nearly 6 full days. The attempt was supervised to allow short breaks, meals, and health checks, as extreme gaming can lead to serious health risks, including deep vein thrombosis. Kaya used his record to raise awareness about responsible gaming, ironically while pushing human endurance to its limit. Fact 12, Doom has been ported to the most absurd devices, including a pregnancy test. The 1993 classic Doom is so iconic and compact in code size that modders have ported it to calculators, smart fridges, ATMs, printers, and even digital pregnancy tests. A programmer replaced the test's internal screen with an OLED display and custom microcontroller to run a playable version of Doom. It's become a challenge in coding circles. Can it run Doom? If yes, it's truly programmable. Fact 13. Nintendo was founded in 1889 as a playing card company. Yes, almost a century before Mario, Nintendo was making handcrafted Hanafuda cards in Kyoto. Founded by Fusajiro Yamauchi, the company dabbled in many industries: taxis, instant rice, love hotels, and toys. It wasn't until the 1970s that they entered the video game space, launching the Color TV game, and later the Famicom, which evolved into the NES. From cards to consoles, Nintendo's journey is nothing short of legendary. Fact 14. Pac-Man's kill screen is a memory overload glitch. At level 256, Pac-Man breaks. The right side of the screen becomes a garbled mess of symbols due to a memory overflow error in the original code. The game's memory can't handle 3-digit levels, causing half the screen to become unplayable. This kill screen became a rite of passage for hardcore arcade players and a symbol of the quirks of early game design limits. Fact 15. Final Fantasy was named because it was almost Square's last game. In 1987, Japanese studio Square was facing bankruptcy. Developer Hironobu Sakaguchi called his RPG Final Fantasy because he thought it would be the company's swan song. Ironically, the game became a massive success, saved the company, and spawned one of the most iconic franchises in gaming, proving that sometimes your final shot can change everything. Fact 16. Games have been used to train artificial intelligence. Before ChatGPT or AlphaGo, early AI systems learned decision-making by playing games like checkers, chess, and Pac-Man. Google's DeepMind famously trained an AI to beat professional players in StarCraft 2 and Dota 2. These games simulate complex real-world decision-making, making them ideal for teaching AI long-term planning, pattern recognition, and adapting to uncertainty. Fact 17. Sega once streamed games through cable TV in the 1990s. Before Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, Sega introduced the Sega Channel, a service that let you download games via cable television. Using a special cartridge connected to your cable box, players could access rotating selections of Genesis games. Though way ahead of its time, it flopped due to high costs and limited internet infrastructure. Still, it paved the way for future digital distribution. Fact 18. Grand Theft Auto began as a racing game until a bug changed everything. The original GTA, 1997, was a game called Race and Chase, where you played as a cop. But during testing, a bug caused AI cars to aggressively ram the player. Developers found the chaos unexpectedly fun, flipped the concept, and made the player the criminal instead. That glitch gave birth to the GTA formula, open world mayhem, and ultimately one of the most controversial franchises in history. Fact 19. Speedrunners exploit game code in ways developers never imagined. Speedrunners complete games in record time using frame-perfect inputs, memory manipulation, and glitches to bypass huge chunks of gameplay. In The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, runners can warp Link to the end credits in under 10 minutes. They use tools like emulator frame stepping to discover optimal routes, turning games into high-level code-cracking puzzles rather than traditional challenges. Fact 20. Portal's villain GLaDOS is inspired by real psychology. GLaDOS, the AI antagonist in Portal, embodies the cold, calculating INTJ personality type. Her sarcastic remarks, manipulative logic, and dispassionate tone were designed to reflect how AI might mimic human reasoning without emotion. Her voice was created by processing actress Ellen McLean's opera-trained voice with pitch modulation. GLaDOS became a standout villain and an unsettling reflection of tech gone rogue. Fact 21. Animal Crossing uses real-time syncing, even when you're not playing. If you ignore Animal Crossing for weeks, your village remembers. Flowers die, weeds grow, neighbors move away, and other characters will even comment on your absence. This real-time clock system was revolutionary when introduced and adds emotional weight to how players treat the in-game world. Time actually matters, and it makes Animal Crossing feel eerily alive. Fact 22. The Konami code became a global pop culture reference. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Originally added by a developer to help him test Contra more easily, the Konami code gave players 30 lives. It became so famous that it's referenced in dozens of other games, websites, and even Netflix. Some sites still trigger Easter eggs if you enter it on your keyboard. Fact 23. The Sims was inspired by a house fire. Creator Will Wright lost his home in a fire and had to rebuild his life from scratch. That experience inspired him to design a game about building houses, forming relationships, and managing everyday needs. The result? The Sims, a game where players control simulated people's lives in surprising detail. It's one of the best-selling PC franchises ever, and it's rooted in real loss. Fact 24. Mass Effect's alien languages were linguistically designed. Instead of using gibberish, Mass Effect's writers worked with linguists and cultural consultants to build alien speech patterns, phrases, and even slang based on each species' culture, physiology, and history. The result? The galaxy in Mass Effect feels genuinely multicultural, and every alien race speaks in a way that subtly reveals their worldview. Fact 25. World of Warcraft's economy has real-world value. In-game items and gold in WoW can be converted to real currency through gray markets and legal game tokens. In 2012, economists estimated the game's economy was more complex and stable than some developing nations. Blizzard even employs economists to monitor inflation, gold farming, and market trends because digital economies can now influence real ones. Fact 26. Halo was originally a Mac-exclusive real-time strategy game. Before Microsoft bought Bungie, Halo was being developed as a real-time strategy game for Mac. It was even shown at Macworld in 1999, with Steve Jobs introducing it. After Microsoft acquired Bungie, the game was reworked into an FPS and became the Xbox's flagship killer app, launching one of gaming's most beloved franchises. Fact 27. You can beat Dark Souls without taking damage. Speedrunners have not only beaten Dark Souls and Elden Ring with no damage, they've done it with Guitar Hero controllers, bananas, and voice commands. These feats require thousands of hours of practice, perfect enemy timing memorization, and absolute patience. It's not just gaming, it's performance art. Fact 28. Red Dead Redemption 2 has over 500,000 lines of dialogue. To bring its Wild West to life, Rockstar recorded hundreds of hours of dialogue from over 700 voice actors. NPCs have context-sensitive conversations, react dynamically to your behavior, and even gossip about you. Some actors spent over a year doing motion capture just to create immersive realism. It's more than a game. It's a living, breathing frontier. Fact 29. Esports tournaments now rival the Super Bowl in viewership. The 2021 League of Legends World Championship peaked at over 73 million viewers, more than the NBA Finals or MLB World Series. With multi-million-dollar prize pools, Olympic consideration, and global teams, competitive gaming has transformed from LAN parties to packed stadiums filled with roaring fans and pyrotechnics. Fact 30. Video games are now being used as medicine. In 2020, the FDA approved EndeavorRx, a game designed specifically to treat ADHD in children. Clinical trials showed the game could improve attention span and cognitive function. This landmark approval proves video games can do more than entertain, they can heal. Expect many more digital therapeutics in the future. And there you have it. 30 mind-blowing gaming facts that just leveled up your knowledge bar. From record-breaking marathons to games that literally heal the brain, the world of gaming is way deeper than just high scores and boss battles. Which fact shocked you the most? Was it the guy who played for 138 hours straight? Or the one where Doom ran on a pregnancy test? Drop your favorite fact in the comments. If you learned something new today, smash that like button like it's a final boss. Subscribe to the Mind Metrics for weekly deep dives into the world's most fascinating facts. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of this epic knowledge quest. Until next time, keep learning, keep playing, and remember, the best power-up is your curiosity. Game over? Nah, this is just level 1.